Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people. How do we start in person? This is weird.
Hey.
We just let the birds start for us.
Nothing like being woken up by the lovely, beautiful crow.
You know they're carnivorous?
What?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Uh-huh. Messes with you, right? But they eat like rats or whatever, or like, I don't know, fat chihuahuas. I think about that a lot. Whenever
That's disgusting.
I'm taking care of the fat chihuahua and we're outside.
I saw this really cool thing on TikTok where it was a small dog and the caption was like, we saw a bunch of hawks circling, so we made him this new jacket, and it's like a vest with like spikes coming out all over. It was like, and a helmet with like big metal spikes coming out. I was like, haha, that's hilarious, but also terrifying for the dog. He was like, he could die.
Could get eaten. Seems delicious. Oh, now I want Taco Bell. Okay, workouts. We're talking about workouts. Welcome to the second in-person episode of Total Fitheads.
Second consecutive in-person episode.
That's not true. We had Tatch between Westford.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. Listen to the lovely dumpster sounds of LA. Crow's dumpster.
I wish
trash tornado, really,
yeah,
just
exactly.
adding to the sound effects.
My friends, when they lived in New York, they said that they would see something like, you know, like a rat steal a piece of pizza off somebody's plate,
Pizza
or
rat,
like,
yeah.
you know, a homeless guy like taking a shit in the middle of the street or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right when that Jay-Z song was coming out, the New York. And so
Yeah.
they'd sing that themselves.
Mm-hmm.
As like a reminder of like, look at this beautiful concrete empire jungle, whatever it was. I forget what the lyrics.
Yeah, anytime my friends are like, you live in Hollywood? I'm like,
Yeah,
I do.
I sure do. Look at my shoes. You know, they're disgusting.
Hollywood is also transition. Home to many different workout studios.
That are reopening. Just ask them on Instagram because they've been blasting you with ads nonstop.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're back, by the way. If you want to come back to class, we're
Do you
back.
want
We're
to
back.
come over in person and, as Max has said in the past, spit into each other's mouths? That's honestly the kind of thing that happens at a CrossFit class, which you can do now. We're fine.
We're back, baby.
I went into a CVS with no mask today.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
How did you feel? Naked.
Honestly, it's easy to go back to just fine and forgetting that any of this happened.
Really?
Yeah, it feels like 2019. Like we just skipped over it.
That's great. Good thing we didn't get universal health care, universal basic income, or anything like that out of this tremendous year that we just had.
Nothing solved. We just skipped over it.
Yeah, we're back. Pretend like it never happened.
Getting political on our fitness podcast, meathead.
Yeah, more curls. Okay, less talky, more curls.
Yeah, I know. It's
All right,
fine.
so classes are back. So we thought we'd talk about which, like group classes, fitness classes that we liked and didn't like, and so I mean it's kind of a trick question because I generally default towards liking them all.
It's kind of a trick question because I default towards hating being around any other humans. So,
Which is why I'm
can we
here.
cut back to me being like, it's the second in-person episode where I can't just close my laptop and get rid of him. Just
Thank
kidding.
God.
You're great, but most people aren't. No, I just like, I like being by myself and motivating myself. I'm not the type of person that's like, give me accountability or let's feed on each other's energy.
Yeah.
I feel like I do crappier in a CrossFit workout if I'm competing against someone.
And especially in classes that are like that, CrossFit especially, no hate on CrossFit, but a ton of hate on CrossFit. If you're competing with someone and you're like, shouldn't really be competing with them because it's just a Tuesday and it doesn't matter and you're not getting a medal or a t-shirt
And
or
they
anything.
weigh
like,
twice as much as you.
Yeah.
There are no weight classes
you
in CrossFit.
Just be careful with that stuff because that's a lot of times how you can get injured. I mean, I know
We've talked about this.
we've talked
in the
about this a
past.
million times, but like, you know, if you are trying to do too much too soon, or if you're like just easing back into something, or if your coach is motivating you by telling you to just pick it up, listen to your body. Like, you pick up whatever you want to pick up.
Well, there are classes that are supportive too. Like, I'm sure there's a yoga class where they tell you stretch better
Yeah.
versus.
I think the big difference is if it's like if it's heavy weight, then be careful. But if it's like another sit up, maybe you should do the
You're gonna
sit
be
up.
fine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna be just
Also,
fine.
never do sit-ups.
Yeah. Just plank until you die.
Plank. That's a good one. I tried that plank thing that you sent me on Instagram. You know how we always talk about saving on Instagram and then
Yeah.
never doing the thing? I did it.
Which one?
The one that you said that was.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
put your feet in a set of rings and your hands are out like this. Sorry to our audio listeners. Hands are out above your ears. And so imagine the floor is here. I'm rotated 90 degrees. And then you pull yourself up to a push-up position and then back out.
Yeah.
And then in. And so it's your feet that are moving and your hands stay in the same spot.
It's supposed to help with a muscle up.
Oh,
That's
well,
why I sent it to you.
let me explain. I couldn't do it. I had to do the modified version
Oh,
where you
yeah.
put your feet on a ball instead.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. And I thought it was a lat movement. It's not. It's all core.
Yeah.
I thought, like, because I watched the guy do it and his lats are popping out and I'm like, oh, he must be pulling his whole body. That's what's
Yeah.
going on. But really, it's just keep yourself tight.
I've seen it. It's kind of like a pull over.
Yeah.
You know, people, when you have the pull down machine, I've seen them do it like that. They just stand there,
Right.
put their hands
But
over.
a pullover
Yeah.
is definitely
But
lats.
you can feel it in your lats for sure. But
This was all
weird
core.
TRX one was all core. It's bonkers.
And I look like I should be able to do it, and I could not.
Wow.
Anyway,
That's
thanks
the
for
best ones.
sending. I'm going to work on it.
Of
work
course.
my way up. By myself, not in a group class. Maybe I would have nailed it had I been in a group class. It was like other people yelling at me like, you
Yeah.
got this.
Or instructing you.
Instructing me
Elbows
on
in, sweetheart.
why- Oh, that's my favorite. Getting called pet names when I'm sucking at something. All right, let's just go back to we were at CrossFit, so let's talk about it. This is the
CrossFit.
one.
This was on my
This is
list
one
of
that I
ones
do
that I simultaneously love and hate for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. I
It's
moved
fun.
away from
you
that.
do cool movements.
You do look cool.
You do
There's a lot of
look
cool
really cool.
things.
People are really willing to help you take a photo, like a cool Instagram
Yes.
photo for sure.
No shirt required.
No.
Really like that.
A lot of times it's frowned upon to wear a shirt actually.
Honestly, yeah.
Or they want you to wear a shirt and then halfway through be like, "Rah, take this off.
It's called the reveal.
Yeah, it's called the
If
Fraser.
you have, if you have 4 sets, it's set 2 that you'll be doing the reveal.
Two,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
That's your strategy?
Halfway in. I mean,
I
I'm
would
talking
save
like
it
if this
for
is rounds
3.
for time, you got 2 rounds in.
Yeah. I feel like I would. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I would save that for after round, mid round 3, middle of 3.
Oh wow, so it's more of a climax for you than a
Well,
let's
4
get
rounds,
to
right?
it. Yeah.
So middle of 3, and then I'm
Okay,
and then
okay.
I'll fly through the
4th round is the
because I'm so
denouement.
aerodynamic. Yeah.
Aerodynamics.
Burpees are gonna just, you know what I mean?
I will say I miss like having someone else's programming, but also
Yeah.
I'm always just so skeptical of CrossFit programming because I think it's because I don't recover fast enough. We should do another recovery one.
Yeah. Also, they don't. I never know if they're programming for somebody to come in 5 days a week, somebody to come in 3 days a week.
Yeah.
It's sort of up to they program for the group, but they don't know everyone's schedule because the people don't know their own schedule. You know,
Yeah.
I plan Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but then something comes up, and then you know what I mean.
Then I cherry pick the workouts because I do not want to run that 400 meters today.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly not 4 times. Of course, the shirt is coming up.
Yeah, snatches. Are you kidding? No, I'm staying in bed for that
What?
one.
Oh right,
Snooze.
That's the one you hate. Ah, I've been snatching a lot, alone in my gym. Group snatching. Remember that? That's so much setup. God.
And you know what I don't miss about group CrossFit classes, especially with there may or may not be. Well, I shouldn't say that. It doesn't really matter whether they're experienced or beginners. Just barbells are just flying all over the
Yeah,
place, and you're
it's
like,
loud.
I'm doing mine, but I'm also very aware of this
Slightly
one and
concerned.
that. I don't know. It just seems a little dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a little.
I was
wuss.
just at the West Coast Classic, which video coming soon on this channel. It's a qualifying semifinals for the CrossFit Games. In one of the events was GHD sit-ups. So, right, you never see that in a CrossFit class because there's like GHD sit-up machine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's this big device with like a butt pad, and you put your feet in it, and then you fall backwards.
Fall like all the
And
way back.
it's really
all the
heavy
way
and
up.
huge, and they had 10 of them
Oh my
in
God.
a lane. So
That's cool. I mean, I'm sure it looked cool.
they did 100 pull-ups,
Uh-huh.
and then 80 GHD sit-ups,
Ugh.
and then 60 calorie row,
Uh-huh.
and then
Serious.
40. Geez, I don't know. I was also drinking, but it was a lot. It was a chipper.
And I did 15 beers.
Can you imagine doing?
No, I can't imagine
60
doing any of
GHD
that. I
sit-ups?
can't imagine them, like, I can't imagine someone calling the store and be like, yeah, I need 10 of those weird sit-up apparatus things.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, is this is this the guy? Are you CrossFit?
It's honestly written to be rhabdo. Those people are ready for it.
Yeah.
but That's
They're ready
crazy.
for anything. They're monsters.
Anyway, fine.
So,
I is CrossFit.
scale of
but
1 to
also-
10, how much would you want to, what is your rating on a CrossFit group class? Scale of 1 to 10.
Oh.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 7.
Ooh.
Pretty good.
Okay.
About right.
Yeah, that's gonna be my highest rating for this whole
For sure.
thing. No question.
No.
And I see now even talking about it makes me want to go back to it. To
Yeah,
also
you were
know
just
that,
saying
like,
you're
you
never
did
going
enough.
back, and now we just
I know.
reminisce for 2 seconds, and you're like,
I
you
know.
know what, maybe I will go back, see all my friends, PR a little bit.
Well, and when you're doing someone else's programming, and they always fit it within an hour.
Yes,
They're never
that's
like,
really nice.
hey, this week we gotta do extra, so 90 minutes. I'll do 2-hour workouts here and still be like, maybe I should do a finisher, or
Yeah,
did I get
something.
am I burned out enough? A
Yeah.
little bit of lat extra.
Yeah.
Add on. That's what I did. I added on that stupid core thing. It's nice to have
You
someone
tried
else
that.
say, that was enough, you did it, come back tomorrow, we have
Get
something
out of
else
there.
for you. Yeah, yeah.
That's also good too, like, to combat, no offense, overtraining.
Yeah.
But, I mean, part of it is to combat overtraining, and part of it is because they're like, you did great. We have another class coming in, so
Yeah,
get
get
out of here.
Get out. They're now 48-minute classes because we have to disinfect everything.
Yeah, which is nice.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, not a
no,
terrible thing.
No. Alright.
A lot of chalk too. That's also a good one.
I have some too. Why do you think this gym is white?
What?
You can't tell.
Okay, next. What's your next one?
The next one, well, this is a shout out to our first episode, SoulCycle. Kim Nonstop.
Ooh,
One of the
love
first
SoulCycle.
4 trainers. The initial launching of SoulCycle.
The flag bicycle.
The OG. Flag.
Pace car. Pace bike. Is there a pace bike in Tour de France? I don't know.
Were you trying to say flagship?
Yeah.
And then
the flag
realized it was
bike.
bicycle.
The flagship bike.
I don't know what's funnier, that or the fact that I got it.
Yeah, that's true. That's really. That might have been a little bit of a stretch. Oh my goodness.
Oh, because we're both always writers rooming in our head as we're saying the joke.
Right.
Can we up the ante? What's funnier? What's another example that would be better? How many puns can I make? Anyway, okay, yeah.
One more.
I remember liking SoulCycle. I look back now and I'm like, why?
Yeah, I liked it. It was cool. Music was cool.
I would wear earplugs. That's
Oh,
how cool
that's
I am.
weird. I didn't even think about that. You
It's
do that
really
a lot.
noisy.
Though. You do.
I wore earplugs at the West Coast Classic even.
Gotta protect your part of your instrument.
Sure, yeah, I guess yeah.
Well,
yeah.
as a musician, ears are relatively important.
Wait,
But they're not the instrument.
no. Like, it's the relationship of a butthole and a mouth. Like, one is out. A horn versus your ears.
Totally.
They're like similar things.
Yeah, like
but
a quarter
not.
in a jukebox, maybe, or like.
Sure, whatever. I'm editing this one, so do we leave it in?
I
Yeah.
100% leave it in. I love that.
Can't wait for my mom to get to it.
Oh, the
2 years from now.
butthole. Yeah, I love that butthole episode. Project Starfish, you know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Anyway, so I think that the music was really cool. I guess it
Lighting.
did sort of depend on, I thought it would depend on the instructor, but the
Mhm.
instructors were always awesome. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They didn't like miss. I was
And
like,
they were
oh,
pretty
well, I
similar.
don't know. It was kind of a crappy,
Yeah.
I thought that might happen, and it never happened for me.
Yeah, similar level of quality. They might have different ideas on intervals and
Yeah.
music choices or whatever, But yeah, they do a good job of picking the same kind of motivational people.
Yeah.
Must have been from the beginning when they had Kim. They're like, cool, clone her.
We
know how to do it.
She's the bar.
Yeah.
Everyone has to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wonder what that is too. Because they're not. It's not the type of thing like Hooters where they have actors there that
Right.
are auditioning
Not waitresses.
on the side.
Not waitresses.
Yeah, no.
Because you can't fire a waitress for being overweight or underweight.
I feel like
or
we've
whatever
talked
the hell
about
it
this
is.
on Pod.
It's a creepy thing that like when we figured it out, we were aghast.
Yeah, to get around the sexist and awful rules, or awful things that they're doing to get around being sexist, they call it an audition instead of just a job search.
And
right?
you're not technically a waitress, you're a model.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, otherwise you could be like, hey, why didn't you hire me? That's
Right.
not fair.
Illegal somewhere.
How
So
did you
shout
get
out
on
to
that?
Hooters for going around the town. SoulCycle instructors. What makes a SoulCycle instructor?
I would say YouTuber, but that's what I was trying to say, is they're not struggling other things that are doing SoulCycle. They're doing, that's their thing, is SoulCycle.
But they also like, they have something where every class is like fun and energetic and exciting, and the intervals line up with the music,
lit
lines
candles
up
once?
with the thing. Yeah, like it's awesome.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I do like how absolutely sweaty you get. That is one of my
That is a
A
good
plus
point.
plus points on SoulCycle. That's it.
And you can scale it like CrossFit just by turning the thing
Yes, that's true.
harder or not. The
I
bike
remember
has
realizing
tension.
the first time, I was like, God, I'm gonna die. I don't think I can do this.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot
And it
easier.
depends, I guess, whether you want it to be more cardio or strength or how hard to
Yeah,
push
and then
it.
once I realized you could sort of stand up in the bike, that was another big thing.
Mhm.
I don't like when they introduce the hand weights. I always thought that was kind of stupid. Because they're like, reach behind you, grab your weights. I'm like, what are these, 2 pencils? What do you want me to do? And they're like, do overhead presses! And I'm like, this is like a balance thing, I guess, but it's not getting my
The
shoulders.
balance thing
You
is
know?
like on his core. Yeah.
So like, and I'm sure, yes, for some people, 5 pounds pressing overhead is a big deal, especially while you're riding your bike. But like, in the bike, there was only 5 or 10 pounds. There weren't
Right.
35s
Right.
in there. You know what I mean? Like, I would have done that if they were there.
10 were the big ones. I wouldn't even grab those.
You know, so it's kind of like, well, I don't want to do the arm part. It seems silly.
Yeah, it almost feels like it cuts into your cardio because you're like, no, I can't even focus on the keeping my heart rate up. I'm
Now I
doing
just
this
feel like an
stinky
idiot.
thing. Yeah. Yeah. But otherwise, again, done in an hour. I think
Yeah.
that's going to be a running theme. I really like
That is really
being
nice.
done efficiently.
If you're actually interested in that, a lot of times what I've been doing lately is put on one of those follow along with me YouTube videos of a workout. Mainly because it's timed. The thing will say like, okay, 45 seconds of whatever, and then beep, and then it's 15 seconds of whatever, and it really does keep you on schedule.
going.
I don't dawdle at all, and
When I like squat heavy and then have to wait 3 minutes to recover, I'll just send several emails and then 9 minutes later go back to squat again.
so classic. Classic gym.
Well, I have been doing this thing and it times me. So,
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good
I'm on that at least.
So, SoulCycle,
Yeah.
how many thumbs up?
1, 2, 3, 5. Wait, we're supposed to go at the same time.
Oh, we're doing it out of 10?
Yeah.
Right, because that's what we said last. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, that's right. I thought I said how many thumbs up, and you were like 1, 2, 3. I was like, I don't know. How many hands you got? Jeez Louise. I thought you were just gonna do
I was
thumbs up,
just
thumbs
following
down.
the format from before. When you were like, let's say the number, and then you're like, out of 10 thumbs? Yes, I don't know, whatever. Okay, great.
Okay.
So it's medium.
5. Hard
It
5.
is medium. Honestly, but if
Take
you
it
mix
or
all
leave
these
it.
up, see, no, I'm counteracting my own brain already. I would like to do all these individually. It's like, it'd be fun to do this here and there, but then that's a class pass, and then you have no goal directedness,
Right,
and you're
you're just,
wasting
like,
your
being
energy. You're
shit,
just,
kind of.
yeah, I like focusing, so
Okay.
I'm doing a season of Oli right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
fans.
yeah, and working on muscle up. We've talked about this. I'm not good
Muscle
at
up is important because you want to look cool.
it. Thank
Have
you.
The
Which is why I don't
Although
understand
the
why you can't do a full
coolest-
split yet.
The cool, yeah, that's true. The coolest thing though is a slow muscle up on rings. It's insane. It looks like it's animated. You're like, no, there's no way human beings.
But it
do
also
this.
looks
Bonkers.
easy when you see someone do it.
It's
You're like,
insane.
oh right, you just do that. You
And
ever
they
dream
do-
about
they
doing
do, like,
physical stuff?
This, they do the fall script.
Do you
and
ever,
you're like, why is
dream
he-
about doing gymnastics? Any sort of like that kind of thing, or a CrossFit?
Not
lift or-
really. Usually I dream about fighting a lot.
Okay.
Actually, that's kind of weird. I didn't realize that.
Because I'm definitely better at everything physically in dreams. I just like pounding out push-ups and.
Shocker. I can fly in a
That's
dream,
love.
so that's also something I'm working
No,
on.
but I'm worse at piano in dreams. I like can't. Yeah.
You know, you can't read in a dream. You ever tried to read something? when
Or
you're
tell
dreaming?
time. You also counting is hard.
Yeah, because you got weird fingers or whatever.
Yeah. You use that like if you think you're dreaming, count your fingers and then.
What is
if
that
you're
from?
trouble-
That's from something. A show?
I thought that was the top. You're thinking of Inception, where like spin a top and it goes.
No.
forever.
If you think you're dreaming, count your fingers. It's from a show.
Oh.
It's a crappy show. No offense to the show.
Well, I only watch good things, like Max No Sleeves YouTube.
So, I only know that thing about you can't read in a dream because in a Batman cartoon 20 years ago, he tried to read in a dream. It turns out he was in a dream and he didn't know it. Oh, crazy.
Oh. Do you ever have lucid dreams? We should do a whole episode on this.
I can.
Me too.
I figure it out pretty quick, but I can't control it too well.
Really?
I'm just like, oh, weird. I guess I
Then
remember
you
one.
don't fly and.
I remember one specifically. I was getting chased by
Become
like
president?
a killer, and I was running, and he was gonna stab me to death, and I was like, oh wait, I'm dreaming. It's fine. No. and the guy was like, ah, you got me. That's it. It was so bonkers. It
He's
was
just
so
like a
weird.
dejected dude with a
Yeah.
knife then.
And then, that's happened to me a couple times. Like, another time, like, it was something bad, like I was in a volcano or something. And then I remember being like, this is so scary. Oh, I'm dreaming. I'll just open my eyes. And I did. And I was in my bed. And I was like, wow, that was weird. Good thing I'm not in that volcano. Nope, I'm in LA. It's fine.
That's nuts.
So weird.
You didn't try and turn it into chicken soup or something?
That's a good. Well, next time. Well, there's always tonight.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
It's true.
Can you control?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can like fly.
So
and
what do you
stuff.
do? You fly?
Fly mostly. I like want to get better at that. I've heard of
You should do like rickety.
people
right now.
like training Muay Thai in their dreams.
Oh my God.
Coming.
And then are they good when they?
Yeah, it'll make you better. So I've heard that you can actually improve. It's the same thing as mental rehearsal because I know you mental rehearse
Yeah.
wrestling and it has a huge effect. So
Incredible.
imagine that, but in this vivid simulation machine that is your freaking brain.
Yeah, but
while
when
you're
I'm
dreaming.
doing it, when I'm rehearsing it, I don't like my finger doesn't turn into like a claw or something. In a dream, like anything can happen.
Well, stop doing that unless you won. Oh, right. That's what you're trying to... Then during your real life match, you're like...
Oh, it's not working. That's fine. I'll just fly on out of here.
Fly.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Son of a-
dead.
That would suck.
Oh God! All right, well, dang it. We should have saved a lot of that for a different episode. That's fine.
We should. We'll come back to it.
Dreaming
We'll right back to
episode
it.
on a fitness podcast. Who wants it? Let us know.
That's
in the
mental.
comments.
That's
Yeah.
mental fitness of some sort.
For sure. I need to do more research. I think it was Tim Ferriss that introduced me to this idea of you can train Muay Thai while you're sleeping, which means you can train anything, right?
Yeah.
So, you know what I do is video edit in my sleep. Actually, that's not a joke. I've
Oh my
definitely
God,
done that.
that's
It's
awful.
the worst. The worst. And you're like almost done with a project, and then you wake up and you're like, wow, good thing I put all that work into video editing. Nothing.
Ugh, that's awful.
Ugh.
That's
Yeah,
almost
not
as,
an anxiety
That's almost
dream.
as bad as like when I have a dream that I'm like eating toast and then like doing my homework and then going to school and I wake up and I'm like, hey brain,
Yeah.
we could have done anything. I could have been
Anything.
Thor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I could have been fighting a dragon.
Thor.
I could have turned
Thor.
into a guy made up of forks or something. Like anything. But no, by all means, like let's get back to that algebra problem.
Oh,
It's
man.
ridiculous.
I've
It's so
also
frustrating.
abstained from delicious food in dreams. Like you're at IHOP
What?
with a big sundae and it's like,
Oh.
oh, I shouldn't. This is no. And it was a freaking dream Sunday with 0 calories and all the joy.
A literal dream
God.
Sunday.
God, I should just check every time I'm in front of a sundae. Am I dreaming or not? Anytime anyone offers me food.
You just count your fingers.
Thank you for audibly rehearsing what I just did in case.
Oh, for the audio listeners, yeah. Well, watch on YouTube.
All right. So, I think we should talk about Muay Thai because I loosely brought it up in dreaming.
Sure.
This is one that I very much miss and will be going back to.
And can't do alone.
I have a bag.
Yeah, but
I know it's not the same.
it's not the same.
No, it's not.
Now,
God,
are you
so
looping in like jiu-jitsu and
Nope.
boxing? And,
Nope.
No.
I haven't done any. I'm not an
Muay
MMA.
Thai.
I just went to kickboxing, and that's all I ever did.
Isn't it awesome?
I think I did one jiu-jitsu class, yes, and I should probably do more of it.
Jiu-jitsu is fun. I wouldn't call it a workout. And come for me, jiu-jitsu guys, because I tell you what, it's not a workout at all. Like, please. You know how I know that? Because you can do jiu-jitsu for like an hour, whereas you can box for like 30 seconds.
Oh.
Or you can,
There are no rounds?
There's rounds and stuff like that, but you're not really doing anything. You're sort of like just lying there, and then you move it, and then it's done. Like an 8-second burst of expenditures. And you're also like trying to, position him so his knee will be here in 3 rounds, and then I can pull his elbow here. You know what I mean? Jiu-jitsu stuff, it's very sort of much more of a game than a sport.
Chess. Physical chess.
Way more physical chess. Like, boxing isn't really chess. Boxing is like checkers. Like you move here and bang, you're dead. But jiu-jitsu is like, okay, I have 15 moves planned out.
Fascinating. I didn't know that.
It's going to be like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so it's really fun when you're going against someone. What's not fun is when you're way better or way worse than your opponent.
Yeah, like tennis.
Yeah, exactly.
Same
It's
thing.
very much like that.
Huh. Funny, group class. Does that count? I miss tennis.
Tennis?
Yeah.
You need a partner.
And you're already socially distanced. I could have been playing tennis this whole time.
Just need a racket.
Just don't spit on the ball.
Just need a racket and some motivation.
So what other combat sports do you do?
I've tried wrestling, I've tried jiu-jitsu, I've done some striking stuff. I don't really like it because I don't like being hit very much.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite classes is always boxing classes, whether it's
Rumble's
Good really
one.
fun.
Prevail, that's in LA.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a
There's
actual
another one, I
franchise.
forget, it was in Santa Monica. It was so much fun. I mean, it's a great workout. It is fun because you're learning a sport game or whatever.
I want to say not kicking really takes a lot of the cardio out. Yes.
Oh, for sure.
You can get there with your heart rate when boxing, but you can get there so much easier if
It's like
you're
doing
kickboxing.
jump rope versus double unders.
Yeah. Yeah,
Jumping rope is
exactly.
like whatever. Double unders, you do 10 of them, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or bike versus assault bike
Yeah,
with the arms
exactly.
included, which is kind of crazy.
I completely agree about kick and regular boxing. That's
Yeah.
why it's a lot more fun. But boxing, I feel like, is a lot more accessible. People feel a lot more comfortable doing it. There's a lot more boxing gyms.
And the technique of from here up is easier to get faster than
Yeah.
your whole body shifting
Yeah.
to kick correctly.
Yeah, and there's footwork and stuff in boxing, and you're moving around
yeah.
and stuff like that. But yeah, throwing a full like a full kick it's a lot harder than it looks. It's like
And it's like ballet too.
yeah, you gotta have your little.
Well, I'm in it in the sense that I didn't. Until you're a dancer, you don't know what good dancing looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you start truly learning kickboxing, then you can tell what a good kick is.
Mm-hmm.
Which I imagine
And
you
how a good
know,
kick takes your whole body to
Yeah.
do. A good ballerina,
Good
you're doing this, you're
positioning.
like, oh, that's fine, and then a Britney ballerina's like, yeah, this ab is tight, and I'm like, why? She's like, because I was doing this. And I'm like, what does that mean? Oh my god! You try to get the posture, and then suddenly that ab is like so sore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing when you go back to stuff that you haven't done in a while and realize what muscles you're not using.
Big
like
time.
when I figure skate,
Yeah.
when I get back to figure skating, I know these muscles are just gonna die.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how like something can atrophy when you're being very active.
Yeah, because you're not doing that specific movement. The easiest example is swimming. When you like haven't swam in a while and you go swimming, suddenly you're like, why is my middle lat tight?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Swimming.
that happens for a lot of sports.
Not a group event.
Water polo, the
Water
beach,
polo.
beach ball.
Volleyball, beach volleyball. These are not things that I would ever do.
I don't like beach volleyball. I think it's pretty lame.
It's so hard running on sand though, and it's like sprinting on sand and then stopping.
Yeah. Well, you also like, oh, I can get it up. No, I can't.
Yeah.
And then that's it. So it's really, really.
Volleyball is just standing around for you.
One time when I was a kid, we were on the beach somewhere and we got super high because we were cool.
Mm-hmm.
CBD
beer is what it was.
Yeah, just ripping blunts of CBD beer, and so we like stumble. We're high. We're on the beach. It's like hilarious. It's fun. It's middle of July, and we find this volleyball court.
Sure.
Rectangle, whatever it is. It's on the beach.
Thing with the net.
So we start playing around with volleyball. It's a bunch of mid-teen boys playing volleyball, and then these just messing around, and then these dudes come up to us. Bunch of sunscreen on the nose, those gigantic sunglasses like they're in Tour de France, the backwards mini white running hat or whatever, and like, what's up, and we're like, hey man, did you say sup 3 times or am I high? I'm high. And they were like, what are you doing? And we were like, we're playing volleyball like idiots. What does it look like we're doing? And they're like, yeah, you gotta play us for court. You gotta play us for court.
What the? This is an 80s movie.
Are you kidding? Because we are literally like dying laughing this whole time. But sure, man, we'll play you for court.
Agreed.
So we played him for court.
Wait, this is the phrase "play us for court" stated like that's a normal thing to say. Like somebody knows. I mean, I'm using context clues here, but I've never heard that. Is it missing a word? Is it grammatically correct?
I think it plays for the court.
Yeah.
No, but it sounds better if it plays for court.
It sounds like they've said it a lot.
Yeah, well, they were good at volleyball, or they were at least better than us. Tough game, tight game.
Yeah, really
21-0.
In 3 minutes.
They would literally like do like boom, 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 and I'd be like, shoo. That was awesome, dude. None of us moved. It was the stupidest thing in the world. So they beat us for court, and then
kicked you off.
And then we were like, cool, man. Good game. I guess it's your court. And then like we sort of walked off, and then they walked off to like go back to their chairs or whatever. They didn't even play another game.
They just wanted to fight you.
And so then we were like, should we go play another game? And so we like turned around and went back to just started playing like what we were doing. And they were just sort of like looked over and like we're like, whatever, like these kids are losers. And we're like, yeah, we're the losers. You got it. So it was a bonkers so anyway, long story long, volleyball is for losers as far as I'm
Wow. I'm in the middle of the David Attenborough Colors documentary on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me out.
Nerd.
It's about animals in the wild. Anyway, this just reminds me of baboons when they talk through owning their area and fighting off as alpha males.
Right.
We're just baboons. It's all the same.
Beach baboons. That's what volleyball is. Volleyball is for baboons. Write it down.
Wow. Write it down. Unsubscribe. You're gonna destroy our volleyball audience.
Prove me wrong. Maybe. Hey, listen. This was 30 years ago. We don't know. This was the 60s. No one's really doing the same stuff. Like it's a whole new style. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. We did mention dance too, so I feel like we should talk about that.
Dance is a good one.
I miss dance. I mean, I miss being in a dance company and competing with the same girls and rehearsing 2 hours a night every night. But since then, which was when I was 18, now I've just been going to classes in LA or whatever, and I still miss that too, but couldn't do that until very recently.
So is it like a Zumba class? Or
Gosh darn it, Max! Don't compare me to Zumba, which we should talk about too. Never done it, but
it's the bad comment alarm.
Cops are coming for your statement. No, dance is not like Zumba.
Well, sounds like it is.
Shut up! It's the Pinocchio police. Are we
I
done,
actually-
LA? Or we? Okay. Okay.
So dance class, you mean like a heels class or like a hip hop class or like
Hip hop, ballet. I've never done heels. What I do want to do is a rosé mile in heels.
In a wedding dress.
Oh, I like that too. I also always wanted to like go to a bar and drink alone in a wedding dress.
Oh
How
my
fun would that
God.
be?
That is amazing.
Right?
That is
So people either
unbelievable.
film you or like come over and buy you a drink. What story
I mean, if you
does
don't
that
get
cause?
if you don't get laid,
Right.
then you're a ghost because you don't exist.
Okay,
There's
should
no
I do
way.
this and you film from the corner?
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
touch
then-
probably works too.
Then we'll switch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then the third round is we get into a huge fight. How dare you come to my bar?
This is our first date. I introduced you.
This is my bar. You got the dog.
Oh, I don't even remember what we were talking about. God, that's good.
What were? Oh, heels class. You want to go to heels?
Rosé mile, like a beer mile, but with rosé and obviously in heels. Trying to convince Lauren Powell she'd be the perfect.
She would be perfect. Although running in heels does seem dangerous as someone who's never worn heels consistently.
Let me give you
Can you break an ankle or like?
No, here's how you do it. And if any of our fit heads get challenged to run in heels, all you do is stay on your toes. Never put your heel down. Now you're just running on your toes.
Like sprinters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like someone who's barefoot. Pretend
Yeah.
you're barefoot.
Okay.
And you will look and feel very much in charge. And you will, I hope Lauren Powell's not watching this because I can't wait to
Smoker.
smoke her. Couldn't think of the word, thank you. That's right, we're just two separate brains helping each other out. Yeah, so if, I mean, I feel like this is going to come up sometime in your life where they're like,
sure.
put these heels on.
Run.
But dancing, that's different. I know Brittany does heel classes.
Heels
and you
class.
Put your heel, they make you put your heels down for
Because you're like
moves
it's part
and
of the move.
twerks and
Yeah, it's
whatnot.
intense. Giannis Marshall is insane.
Yeah, oh my god.
Holy moly!
I
it's like
remember realizing she knew him after having already followed him for a while.
My God, you wanna like be, if you ever had any idea that you were athletic at all or coordinated, watch one Giannis Marshall video and then all that goes right out the window. You're like, I am a rock. That is my level of athleticism compared to this. This class is insane.
Yeah.
Giannis with a J, look it up. It's
Pretty awesome.
Insane.
Alright, maybe I'll do one of those coming up.
That's
to
it.
prepare me for the Rosé Mile.
The Romo.
So you've not taken dance classes. Brittany teaches.
I accidentally took a Zumba class one time. It was really fun.
That's not a dance class! Gosh darn it!
I mean,
Okay.
we were dancing.
Right.
I was dancing.
The point of Zumba is to do repeated movements so you get your heart rate
Yeah.
up, right? It's kind of like aerobics.
Cardio.
Which, the point of dancing is to look cool. Let's be honest here.
That's true.
And Zumba may accidentally look cool while they're doing a repeated movement, but it's few and far between, and I would not call it dance.
Fair enough. I haven't taken a dance class. Brittany's made me learn a bunch of choreography, which is just
Lift
so
stuff.
frustrating. It's just so bad.
What?
Although I am
Because
pretty
you only
good.
show the good parts. I forgot editing.
Yeah, I am pretty good if I have a mirror, though. I have a pretty decent ability to sort of, I guess, shadow. Or I
Yeah,
don't
that's
even
your
know what that's called.
proprioception. Yeah, modeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
from wrestling.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's I can pick up stuff relatively quickly, and I can sort of. But I'm not in the dancing is I'm as athletic as I think I am a terrible dancer, which is makes me so frustrated. Because I'm like, I'm an athlete, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
And I've done moves where they're like, and you just do a dance step, and I'm like, okay, time.
Time.
Can't be doing that. Wrong sport, my man. So.
Yeah, and like going back to ballet is gonna be difficult. Kind of in the same way, I know what I want to do, and I've done it in the past, but my muscles are not prepared to do it. Right. So it looks crappy, and I'm super sore the next day.
Yeah. But that stuff comes sort of flooding back relatively quickly.
I mean, yeah, they even say that about lifting, right? You take some
Yeah.
time off, you will get back to your muscle mass and strength much quicker than the first time that you got there.
And your coordination. your hand-eye stuff, where you like how you want to move stuff.
Learning choreography is so hard, and when you take time off, it gets so harder.
Yeah. All right.
But I see people are so good at it, especially in LA. So, this is interesting. A hip hop level 1 class in LA isn't just people starting out never having done hip hop. It's a well-trained ballerina that makes her living learning choreography in ballet, who is now doing hip hop.
Yeah.
So this is an insane dancer
Yeah.
that you're dancing next to in a hip hop 1 class. LA is insane.
Trash.
I used to
Hip-hop.
take advanced classes at Millennium in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
I am level 1 at the same Millennium franchise brand in LA.
You know, there's different. It's that's like a lot of
Fish
things.
pond, whatever.
Yeah, and, like certain states are really good at certain sports. So like the best, a state champion football team in Texas is probably better than a state champion Vermont football team.
That's
you know what I
weird to
mean?
me. What are they just people are born?
Because people like the sport, it's bigger there. Like all the kids do that one, or it's like popular or whatever.
Yeah.
So like there's definitely like soccer. I know like California's really good. North Carolina's really good randomly. Like wrestling has a bunch of weird states. Like Ohio and New Jersey are both like really incredible. Massachusetts is terrible. I remember I
I
had
don't
to.
think my high school even had a wrestling team.
Pennsylvania, absolutely.
Really?
Pennsylvania's really, really good at wrestling.
Huh.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm just
Horrifying.
bad at being a fan.
Terrifying wrestlers out of Pennsylvania. But like I remember I had to wrestle a student. They were like, "Watch out for him. He's a state champ." And I just kicked his brains in. And then afterwards, I was like, "Where are you from, dude?" He's like, "Oh, Rhode Island." I'm like,
You beat the smallest state.
"Cool, got it. Thanks for scaring the crap out of me." But
That's
so I think
funny.
yes, LA dancers are A+ dancer. But I mean, I'm sure New York is like that too.
Yeah. I'm sure Pittsburgh is like that
I'm sure this garage is like that.
too. A+ dancers in
Only.
here. Oh, man. All right, what's your next one?
I had one that I really liked, but I'm realizing that you could sort of loop a bunch of them into, which is F45.
And berries. And maybe Orange Theory?
I would say Orange Theory.
Yeah,
And Training Mate.
Training Mate.
So
That's not a franchise, right? Oh, well, they have more than one in LA.
I think it is, but it's just starting. But it's another one of those Australian ones. Remember when we went to that F45 thing and they were like, yeah, it's huge in Australia, and we had never heard of it, and now it's everywhere.
It is.
Anyway,
everywhere.
the idea of the class is it's interval training, whether that's, I mean, they do a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it's actual like weight strength training, some of it's straight cardio, like little jump
Yeah.
rope, some of it's like pull-ups.
But no barbells. None of them have barbells.
Yeah, some of them have barbells.
What?
They're like tiny ones though.
Right, yeah. It's never I think
heavy.
the thing that separates CrossFit from that, at least to the average eye,
Mhm.
is that there's no barbell.
There's no big plates.
Right.
Is
But
that what
what,
you
you think they don't have squat racks, they don't have
They don't
like,
have squat
only-
racks, but you do.
but you'll have dumbbells and kettlebells.
It feels like it's just whatever's there. Like some of them have you push a sled, and some of them have like you're dancing around cones or whatever. Like it's
Agility things.
Yeah.
They throw a tennis ball at you. I've actually not seen that, but yeah, you
Or something like that. So, but the idea is it's 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off.
That's
for
specifically a 45, yeah.
45 minutes, right? That's the whole point of F45.
I don't know. I think it might be an hour.
Anyway, it's interval. Oh yeah, because there's a break in between. I don't know, whatever. It's interval training for sure.
This
And that's
concludes our not ad read for F45.
Yeah, but that's it. But and so you're like,
Yeah.
oh, what an interesting, unique concept. And then you go to berries, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And then you go to Training Mate, and it's the same thing. And then you go to like,
Training Mate is definitely that. They have assault bikes.
Yeah, they have
no
those
barbells.
skiers too. I
Do they?
love those.
Oh wow,
things.
I've never used one. I weirdly have like come across them, and I always think I should save the first time doing that for a video. So I should film it doing something absurd.
That's cute.
Yeah, but
Virgin.
the ski are virgin. That's
Ski
so
virgin.
embarrassing. Shove me in a locker.
But anyway, so I like the classes a lot. I find
Yes.
that they're very
Unless
fun.
you have to do it all the time.
If you have to do it all the time, it gets real boring. Sometimes they don't really think about doing 45 seconds of an exercise. So
Yeah.
for example, 45 seconds of pull-ups is like, it's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Also, there's one
yeah.
that they love where they do 2 hands on a thing like this and 2 feet, and you just jump on either side.
Yeah, what is that called? Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
Donkey kick,
Yep,
something
and I've
or other.
only
And it's tough on the knees, and also not that fun.
And it looks dumb.
And you look like and feel like a total moron.
Donkey.
Yeah, exactly. A donkey. A dumb
I was
donkey.
gonna say the A word, but again, I'm editing this. I don't want to have to
Donkey,
bleep it.
donkey.
Don't do it. He said the S word earlier too. I gotta
Oh, yeah.
find that one.
Sorry, I forgot.
Okay.
So anyway, I like the class. The branding is really cool. I like Mark Wahlberg, so that's a big deal.
Mark Wahlberg, doesn't he have a restaurant?
He's a part owner now. He goes to the one in
An
Sherwood
F-45?
Oaks all the time.
We have to go find him.
Yeah. Also,
With
spoilers.
Beckham.
We went to an F-45 event
Yeah. That's not a spoiler. It's on the internet years and years ago.
at the U.S. Open of Surfing in Huntington
Wow,
Beach,
that's very specific. I think it was
Beach.
2015.
Yeah, it was tough. It was real tough. And
It
they
was
had like a big
incredibly
jungle
hard.
gym, and
That was before I'd ever done CrossFit too.
I remember that. I remember that because I saw someone doing thrusters, and I said, "Oh my God, we have to do thrusters," and you were like, "What are thrusters?" And I was just laughed and puked. Was
Okay,
fun.
well, what I do want to say about these interval training things is I call back to Complete Burn and Leah Purcell, where
Mhm.
she's like, if you can talk, it is not high intensity.
High intensity interval training.
So, these classes, you can go 5 days a
Right.
week.
You can go 10
right.
days a week.
But are you being as efficient as possible? Are you pushing as hard as possible so that you should take the next day off and only go 3 times a week?
Or are you building strength? I mean, there's not a ton of
Right.
strength building exercises.
Yeah, it's all
in it,
everybody's
you know what I
trying to lean out, and then
Yeah.
they end it with 15 minutes of
Of
core.
abs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I hate that.
training mate.
Ugh.
I'm like, are you serious?
Although I have to say the training mate instructors that I
Yeah.
had are by far the best. They are all hilarious.
And they have
They're all-
the little thing.
They have the Britney
microphone,
Spears microphone. Yeah.
And I do put earplugs in. Oh, you know what I like about Training Mate is a wall of mirrors.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what's missing from CrossFit.
We just need like every wall is mirrors. That's
Yeah.
how we should do it.
Yeah, the only reason that there are
And the
not
floor.
mirrors all around
And the
here,
ceiling.
ceiling mirrors! So I can snatch
Infinity
and
snap.
look at myself through the barbell.
And then the back of your head through the.
Anyway, mirrors are awful for filming, so just so you don't have to see yourself filming me sitting on a tripod is why I don't have mirrors all throughout here.
That's a shame.
I know, it's stupid.
Training mate, the guy, I'm in the middle of my first training mate class ever, and I had to do curls. And he goes, "Hey, mate, I call them hammer curls, because you nail them." And then he just walked away, and I was
That's
like,
the 3rd time that day he said
What?
it. Wow, yeah.
So
what a-
they're psyched about it. No, it was fun. It was fun. So anyway, I like the interval training. I like Barry's is also interval, but
I've
they
never
do
done
it a little.
Barry's.
Oh, they do it a little bit
Or
different.
Orange Theory.
So Orange Theory and Barry's, they split the class into half. You're still doing intervals, but in the beginning they throw you on a treadmill. Or in the beginning they put half the people on a treadmill, half the people on whatever the other half is. Usually it's just a bench and some weights. And so for the treadmill people, they run you, and they're like, okay, you're gonna go incline 6 for a minute, great. Incline 8 for a minute, great. Incline 10 for a minute, great. Okay, jump down to 4. And so they actually do interval treadmill stuff, and that's actually really, really cool. So I like that
And you
a
get to see
lot.
your heart rate.
Get to see your heart rate, and there's a mirror right in front of you, so you get to stare into your own beautiful eyes,
yeah.
make out with yourself a little
Barry's
bit.
is the same thing where they
The
split you up?
lighting, yeah, this is Barry's.
Yeah.
The lighting is really dark. It's super dark and red. It's
That's
like you're in
another
the basement.
SoulCycle thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're in the basement of a Czech strip club. It's awesome.
Ugh.
It's awesome. And then they switch you, and then you have to go real light on the weights because again, it's like a minute of. Even if you're doing dumbbell presses, you're doing a minute of them. So after a while, you're like, I can't move my arms.
Definitely hypertrophy.
Yeah.
Well, I actually wanted to do this as a podcast topic too. Cardio before or after weightlifting, and
Never.
what are the
Neither.
Yeah, never.
0.
Answer is never.
Just lift weights faster.
We should just do a cardio episode. But do you get to pick which group you're in? They just split you up, and
you
does
can
it change?
sort of say like, well, you
Because
only
if you have
only
different
split
goals,
once.
you would want to do it first.
Yeah,
you want
you
to do
can-
cardio before your weights. If you're basically trying to burn more calories,
Mhm.
you want to do your weights before your no other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it, I don't know. See, now I have to do more research. One is if you want to burn more calories, the other one is if you want to build more muscle. And so being able to choose.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. And most people just don't care. That's what's nice too.
Yeah,
so if you have a goal like that, then you just get there 30 seconds earlier than everyone else.
Someone out.
And you get done. Also, the towels are really nice. The showers are really nice.
Oh, nice.
That's it.
I need a shower in this gym.
Orange Theory,
Just
just get like a pull strip one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine.
What? They had a like a garbage shower that you would take camping with you, or like one in a science lab in case you got something in your eyes.
Oh, did you ever pull one of those?
No, of course not. I was a
like
good kid.
I had 2 dreams in high school. 2 dream scenarios. One was pulling that thing.
Then you flew.
And then the other dream scenario was when someone's walking with a tray of food. And this is such like a jerk off thing to do. I always want to just boom, just slap the tray straight up in the air.
Wow.
I never did either of those things. That's a shame.
I mean, we could set that up.
Rent
a sound studio in LA that looks
sound
like...
studio. I'll just go to the high school and be like, hey, hello, fellow kids.
Sneak into high school. I'm sorry, we just need to make this dream a reality for him. Can you... No, don't play the camera.
Can you just hold this for a second? Boom! Sucker! They're like, who was that guy? I don't know, he's flying away.
I definitely subscribed to him on YouTube, so...
6 fingers.
Ew.
Yeah, and I almost thought someone was going to do it to me, because they had me somebody handed me another tray, and I was like, sure, I'll... And they didn't, though, thank God. They just pantsed me in the middle of the whole high school, which was super sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. It's great.
That's so awesome. Did you know the person?
Yeah, it was one of my good friends.
Buddies. It was a wrestling thing.
No, just a pal. Just one of my good friends.
Bro, still? Where's this guy now?
He's in Maine. He runs a very successful catering company called...
Good for him.
Trillium.
Sure.
TrilliumMaybe.com.
Go and check it out.
No, I gotta buy the URL. Anyway, so Orange Theory I think is like that, but they have rowing machines instead of treadmills. Or maybe they do both. I'm not sure, but I know they have those watery. Really
rowing.
Fancy watery
That's another full
machines.
body thing. What do you think? Rowing or assault bike? What's harder?
Oh, I like assault bike more because I like pushing more than you can push and pull on the.
Yeah.
Whereas rowing, you're really just pulling.
Just pulling, yeah. It's just posterior chain. It's interesting. The rowing gets easier the faster you get it going.
Yeah.
The assault bike gets harder the faster you go because it's air resistant.
Also, there's a fair amount of technique in rowing that people don't know how to row, so that it's like a lot harder for someone who's never like done it.
I have actively tried to not get any rowing technique so that my time spent on the rower is as inefficient as possible and I burn as many calories as possible.
5D chess right there.
Almost science. Alright. I think the only ones I have left are ones that I don't like. I would say I don't miss reformer anything, you know. Have you ever done that? Or like Pilates where you're on a machine?
Oh yeah, I'm just not very flexible, so it's always like embarrassing. And they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this really hurts."
Just busy being a
like,
rock.
You're just standing in the doorway. I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I just give me a second."
Be a sec.
It's like a hot compress. Yeah.
Yoga, don't miss that.
I used to do a lot of hot yoga.
Hot yoga?
Yeah.
You would go to hot yoga classes.
Yeah, because my friends would really enjoy it after a night of drinking. It was the perfect hangover.
Oh. Yeah,
solution.
see, I definitely want to sweat out a hangover, but that's cheating.
Yeah, it was tough. And you know what the one thing I would have liked it a lot more if I didn't make a farting sound with the small of my back.
Yeah,
because
sure,
it was so
I bet
sweaty.
it was the small of your back.
In addition to my actual farts.
Actual farts.
No, I got like super, and I mean, if we're being fully transparent here, it was a class full of girls. College girls.
And you smell like a liquor cabinet.
I smell like a liquor cabinet. Best case scenario, liquor cabinet.
Yeah.
Probably like, what is that also? Is that like a cheeseburger sub? Or like, what did you do last night? I'm like, don't judge me. It's my process.
Steel Reserve. My process.
Is that lo mein? No. So it was a little, but I liked it. I liked that, again, that feeling of sweating a ton.
So afterward you felt good.
I felt really good.
Yeah, I mean, you can also use a sauna, right? Which again feels like cheating. I just want.
I like the
as hard
sauna,
as
but I
possible.
do like part of I like the sweating when I'm physically doing something. I feel like that helps a lot more than just sitting there.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, and also, the idea of sitting in a sauna, being uncomfortable, and just like figuring out how you can sit longer.
I know.
Sit through it. At least with
You're
yoga,
just
you can
staring
focus
at a
on
wooden wall. Like, what are we doing?
Do a dumb move instead.
Yeah, you could do some sort of a challenging, like a lunge.
Yeah. Honestly, every yoga class I've taken, I'm like, okay, so we got through the stretching. Now, when are we gonna get to the yoga? And then the class is over, and I realized that we were doing it. That's what yoga is.
Yeah.
It's just going like this.
That was one of my favorite jokes. Remember that yoga video I did where I was on the beach?
Oh yeah,
One
so
of my
funny.
favorite jokes was and it came out of that actual class. I would do in the middle of a chaturanga.
Yeah.
Chaturanga is you start on your hand, you do whatever.
Yeah.
I would do
Kinda
push-ups, and like the instructor was like, "That's you don't have to do that. That's not necessary." And I was like, "You're right. It's not necessary.
Necessary.
I'm gonna do it, guy." Guy in a sleeveless shirt.
You pull out rings and start doing dips. I mean, we're on chest, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's it. Let me check my list.
The last one we had, I mean, which we don't really have time to talk about it. BeSpun
Oh yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah, we did it once.
But it was one of those, unfortunately for me at least, I felt like, again, certain of these activities or sports or classes or whatever, like, I didn't even get to the minimum level of ability or,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like, if I was playing basketball against LeBron, it would be absurd, you know what I mean? Or if I was, if I didn't know how to swim and I tried to swim against Phelps or whatever,
right,
something
or
like
the
that.
Zumba move was so complex by the fourth time you did it, you finally got it, but then we're moving on to something new,
Yeah.
so it's pointless.
So
Yeah,
it
doesn't
was
feel
fun.
efficient.
BeSpun is a pole dancing fitness class.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Fitness
it's on this
exercise.
channel too. No, actually, it's on my main channel. Interesting, but you can go check that out. And we
and
had,
it's really fun. It's really, really hard.
yeah, impossibly hard.
We did 2 of them, right?
No, you were in the show,
Oh,
but we
that's
only ever did the class once. It's funny. I like to call bar class vertical CrossFit.
Yeah, it was that hard, and it was like, it was just stuff like I couldn't do. I couldn't even picture. I couldn't even like begin. You know what I mean? It was just too hard.
But it looks
too
effortless.
athletic. Yeah.
It's crazy when someone's good at it. It's like watching that slow muscle up.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'll just do that.
Yeah. This is
In a different body, in a different lifetime.
in a dream. In a different
In
dream.
a dream! After sucking at the piano. I did have one more group fitness class written down. Marching band.
Oh, wow.
Shut up. But also,
Wow.
it was such a workout.
Sex. Well, I mean, marching band and workout, it depends heavily on the instrument, I would say.
Pun. Because I used to play the drums.
I know. Why do you think I said it?
Okay.
So, you got drums,
Bass
I'll take a
drum.
flute. Ooh, actually,
It
that's
still
a lot of,
worked,
that's a lot of
okay?
breath.
You're wearing your uniform, you're marching in time over and over in the hot summer sun.
In a hat,
Because band camp is over the summer.
and only in Atlanta.
Really, really great state for marching band. A lot of great marching band competitors
Hey,
coming out of
according
Atlanta.
to the film, the well-regarded documentary about marching bands, Drumline,
Uh-huh.
all I know is Atlanta A&T is the number one,
It's the place to be.
the place to be. And
Number one, the place to be. That's probably in a marching song. No.
now it won't be.
But I haven't talked about this in a while. I used to say it all the time, but marching band was my measuring stick for suck. Which is like, you know what I'm saying when I say it, and I know that you have your own.
Yep.
But every time I'm in the middle of a CrossFit class where I can not make it to the end,
Just can't
I
get
think,
there.
well, at least it's not band camp, and then I'm fine. You need one measuring stick per suck, and it's so far in my past, I should probably go reenact it for a video just to make it more vivid. But if the suckiest thing you've ever done always makes everything else seem
pale in comparison.
Yeah.
For sure.
What's your measuring stick for suck?
I have two. One is, well, they're both wrestling practices, obviously. One was an actual, we just wrestled the entire time, and you're done, tired. You can't lift your arms, you can't stand up. And they're like, you're up, let's go. And then you go, and you get...
And it's against someone who's also dying.
Yep, but they're rotating in, and it really becomes this, like, who's going to mentally work harder than the other person. And even if you do, but what's tough about that is, like, you can expend 8 seconds of effort. You can grab that last thing, and then you're like, nope, I can't do it, I'm going to puke. Or, you know what I mean? Like, you can't do it. So it's really, really tough. And mentally, it's really tough because you're all just beating the snot out of each other. And then we had another one that was like the get back into shape from off-season practice.
So you had to stop smoking.
A nightmare. Stop smoking, stop breathing. I mean, it was, he gave us a list of, he gave us a printed out piece of paper, and then he gave us water bottles, which was horrifying because one of the biggest things was you never got water because you couldn't drink water because it'd make you too heavy. So he gave us water bottles, and he was like laughing as he gave us this list, and it was like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 blah blah blah, 100 blah blah blah, and then some of them were like pick somebody up and run around the building, put them down. You know, like it was really tough. But you're like, okay, I could do this. And then I'm like, okay, so we start doing it, and I get to the end, and he's like, great, do it again. Do the whole thing again. And I was like, how many times are we doing this? And he's like, I'll let you know. And then we just kept going. And he's like, whoever finishes first, you get to go home. And I'm like, finishes what? How do we finish? You know what I mean? So it was torture. And we did it, and I died, and I walked out of the gym. This was in like early fall, so it was still warm out. It wasn't. And I tried to walk back to my dorm room, and I like stumbled and fell in the middle of a football field. And I was like, all right, I'll just stay here till I feel better. And I laid there all afternoon.
No. Oh my God.
And eventually I like sort of rolled over onto my side, and then I stood up, and then I went home, and then I went to sleep for like 4 weeks, and it was brutal.
The following 2, 3, 4 days must have been miserable.
Yeah, the following practice, you mean? Yeah, that was right back at practice next morning.
That seems inefficient, honestly.
It was stupid, but he was right. We were out of shape.
Wow.
But yeah, so that one was a hard one for sure.
And now you just use that to compare to anything that sucks right now.
Nothing could possibly come anywhere near as close as that.
I can tell it's vivid in your mind, and it was so long ago. Wow.
Just gives us the paper, gives us the water, and he's like laughing, like, you know what I mean, like that evil coach laugh where, you know what I mean, he's like, you're so screwed. You know, like he cooked this up, twisting his mustache last night, you know, like with a cauldron or whatever. Yeah. Brutal.
Builds character.
Sure.
So I guess you don't miss that group fitness class.
You know what? I'll ask him. I'll call him up and I'll say, "Well, what was that?" And I'll just give it to you, and you can knock it out for a video. Perfect.
Great. X number of episodes, depending upon how many rounds I have to do.
God, it was insane.
Yikes. All right. Well, so let's go back to a class or something. You want to re-kick out the Fitness Misfits and start doing weird stuff again?
I mean, I'm down. I'm psyched. I can't. You just start like dragging cars.
Or like Demi bag me,
put a rope on her back and drag a fire truck.
Or get dragged by them. Sometimes she's on a.
You know what we should
skateboard.
do? Have you ever watched The Challenge? MTV's The Challenge. It's the greatest sport of all time. Greatest sport of all time, easily. They do this one. They do a lot of really cool physical challenges, and one of them is, I was just thinking of that because you tie a rope to your back and you tie it to the fire truck, you drag the fire truck. One of them is 2 people and they have to run in opposite directions and they have a rope on their back, but it's attached to the other person.
Yeah, and so when it
they're just it jerks you back, and then they're just like in the sand, like crawling and dragging, and it's
all about the shoes, honestly. You ever push a sled and have like crap shoes?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
you're so much stronger. Yeah, it's the same thing as having chalk whenever you're trying to do a muscle up or whatever.
A push up.
Push up.
Chalk whenever you're trying
Chalk
to do a
up
pull up.
for the pull up. Chalk up for assault bike. Yeah, if you can't get any grip, then you're screwed. So just, cleats even would make a difference. You could dig in. I feel like. Who knows?
We'll try it. You can try it. I'm too. They also do a nice one where there's 3 of them.
Oh, wow.
And they all have to go in like a triangle.
Yeah, but you could gang up against
That's what they do. So they
yeah.
gang up against them and then they trick them because it's also a mental game. It's the greatest sport of all time. It's such a great sport.
Guess I need to get cable. Alright, we've exhausted the list. Let's go I want to do some just big box gym by myself too.
Yeah.
No masks. It's great. Alright, thanks, Fitheads, for listening this far. Let us know if we missed any that we should have talked about, whether jumping on them or
if there's a class that we should take that we've never heard of.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We could do that for this channel and then find some coach to talk to for the podcast.
That'd be fun.
Okay, let us know in the YouTube comments. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, if you're not on Apple Podcasts even, if you listen to this podcast, go rate and review. It makes a huge difference for us. Thank you.